Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episode and three new and young talented people from India, and they are research scholars, and most importantly they are engaging with not only research, a lot of interesting things. Today they're going to share about the culture, about the present conditions in India and Europe. And most important thing is that World Talent Economy Forum always trust on young talented pools. So those who want to contribute for their country, those who want to contribute for this global community. So I think already the World Talent Economy Forum's audience know about Abhishek, but we have a two new guests, those who actually joining today. uh, they are scholars, but they have their own multidimensional activities. So I want to start with Arpita, then I will move with Arundhati and Abhishek. So hello Arpita, how are you today?
Sir, I'm doing great. What about you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself, like what you do, what you want to do, what you love to do, yeah.
My name is Arpita Sneh, and I belong to the place named Hajipur. It's in the Bihar state of India, and currently I am 25 years old. I am a doctoral research scholar. My subject is mass communication and journalism. And talking about the research, I would like to tell you something about my research topic. The topic is effective, my research topic is effective communication of agricultural development. It is a study based on banana growers in the district of Vishali in Bihar region. I was very much fascinated with this agriculture sector, so I decided to take up this topic. And I guess by taking up this topic, I would be contributing something to the rural background and something to the rural society. And talking about my profile, my interest, I'm also very much interested into poem writings. I generally write about the contemporary sessions and contemporary things, whichever is ongoing in the society. I and talking about the other things, I like to see documentaries. I like to read books, just as a normal girl. Sure,
Mhm.
that's all about me.
Okay, thank you, Madam Arundhati. Can you please introduce yourself and what's the interesting things you do beside your academic activities?
Okay. My name is Arundhati Sharma, and I live in Patna. It's the capital city of Bihar. And I am a research scholar in Patna University here in Patna, it's the state university. And I'm also an assistant professor in Amity University. So, apart from my research interests, I have a sincere interest in teaching, and apart from teaching and other academic interests, I have this huge amount of interest in reading, and also I have this thing about reading and also watching documentaries and other kinds of movies or series which are generally motivated by some social issue, and mostly in the area of gender studies, because my research topic is also about gender studies. It's also about sexual violence, and how sexual violence and society deals with things, and how the structural buildup of the ideological framework has been over the years, and how the victims of sexual violence are treated in the society. So my topic revolves around that. And also with the upcoming wave of the Me Too movement, it also talks about how the healing process takes up when the all the victims come together and they empathize with each other and help each other heal through the process. So these are my research interests, and apart from everything, the prime thing about me is that I just love teaching. I love my students, and it's the supreme thing about me. So
Very
that's it.
yes. Yes, we know India is a very big country. It's a 1.38 billion people, according to my record, maybe more than that or more or less. But issue is that it's a very big country, and definitely India need lot of academic people and researcher like you. So Abhishek, I think you are from Norway, and what the situations and what's happening right now in COVID period?
Yeah. I think I have already introduced myself in the previous session. So, my name is Abhishek. Let me introduce myself again. And I am actually presently in Norway, but I am also from the same state, from from Bihar, and I am from Champaran, Motihari. So they are also from the other two speakers are also from Bihar, the same state. The situation here, as far as the COVID-19 situation is concerned, that's very much under control, and government is tackling it with its full might, and it has done a marvelous job in combating COVID-19. And so far, in my Tromso city, there are no cases. So that's a very good news, and we are kind of relieved because we are not living in that mental trauma. And as far as India is concerned, that's my home country. Situation is really pathetic. However, people have taken it so lightly. Also, the government. So I think India is presently the second most COVID-19 infected country of the world after US, and I think it will be the first. It will come on first, of course. So. That's a very pathetic situation back in India, but I am kind of privileged to be here in Norway presently.
Hmm. Thank you, thank you, Madam Arundhati. I just want to know from you,
Yes.
because you are
Yeah.
involved with academia. So,
Yeah.
what are the cultural issues in from India? Most important thing is that how actually Indian academic activities now they are continuing. Do they using online activities? What the infrastructure, basic infrastructure India has? What the internet situations right now in India?
Mhm.
And what's
Mhm.
the what the I want to know more about quality of education in India.
Okay, as far as the country announced the national lockdown by 25th of March 2020, and before that, I think just a week before that, the students were regularly attending classes. So we called off classes before just a week before March 25, and we started online teaching. So almost all the universities across the country they are conducting online classes, and it's not just limited to the schools, to the colleges. It's also happening in the schools. So the all the academic activities, as far as the seminars, the webinars, and everything is concerned, everything has turned into an online platform. So even if there are faculty development programs, or there are seminars, or there are conferences, all the papers that are presented in the country, so everything has become online right now. And the government has given us the permission from September 21st. We can conduct academic activities with a crowd of about 100 people, but I'm not sure how many institutions or how many people are going to take that kind of risk and conduct things online, because it's also an expensive affair, and you just don't know how many people are going to turn up, because most of the people are concerned about their health, and going into a crowd of 100 people, it's a huge risk when you can already do that in an online platform. So this is how India is tackling these things. And moreover, the webinars and everything, they have been online for about 6 months. For the past 6 months, everything has been online.
Mhm. Very good. I want to directly go to Arpita. Arpita, you are expert in communications and this kind of things. My question is that India has different culture, right? India has many
Right.
culture, many language, many things. How actually uh, Indian academic sectors, let's they are actually handling this communication part for their academic, for their research, and especially what the academic cultures of India. Can you share with us? And how
Sure,
actually
sir.
Indian peoples actually, especially academic people, they involve with the international community for doing research and this kind of thing.
Okay. Sir, as far as communication is concerned, I think that India is no less than any other country, and we Indians are no less than any other people as far as communication is concerned. See, you are sitting in Malaysia, and we are having such smooth talk, right? So, as far as the academic things are concerned, there are different kinds of applications. You can say, for example, there is Kahoot, there is AnswerPad, and teachers are viciously using all these applications to deliver the communication, to deliver the academic strategies. And as far as, since I'm a research scholar, as far as research is concerned, I would like to say that there is a huge, there is a very strict concern of plagiarism regarding research. So, as far as communication and as far as the ethics of research is concerned, we are into the front up line. So, and the communication is concerned, everything is going on smooth. And as we have Arundhati Sharma, she is also a faculty in Amities and International School and Amities and International College. So they all are taking up all the classes and sessions very smoothly. There is no any issue of communication. Everything is going side by side, regardless of the COVID session. So here, it's all about here.
So, Mr. Abhishek, I have a specific question because you are doing research in a specific industry. Beside that, what do you think about the vaccine? Because we are seriously thinking that when actually vaccine will come, when actually we get vaccine, and you are a scientific researcher. Can you share something that what's going on inside the European Research Center?
Yeah, that's right. There are many labs working for the vaccine, and many countries. And recently, Russia officially declared that they are going to distribute it. But getting a vaccine of corona is not that easy, and usually it takes a lot of time to get a proper vaccine, because you never know what will happen in what will the side effect of that vaccine, maybe after 1 year or 2 year. And it's been a year, it's been, we are only living in 2020 when the vaccine came, in December, when this corona came actually in 20 December 2019. So it's very quick to say that we got the vaccine, but it's not the case. You see, if you see logically, then have we ever got the vaccine of HIV/AIDS? Have we
No.
ever got the vaccine of cancer?
Hmm.
No. If you see the virus structure, the coronavirus structure, it has and have you got the vaccine of SARS? So if you see the vaccine structure, if you incorporate the antennas, the spikes, so if you see corona vaccine through microscopy, you will see a ball-like shape having these spikes. So these spikes are also present on this HIV/AIDS virus. So
Hmm.
SARS virus plus HIV/AIDS virus is equal to coronavirus.
Hmm.
And so it's really, really hard to get a vaccine soon. There are many trials happening, and some of them have been quite successful so far. However, I'm quite doubtful that they will succeed that soon. And I know that there are many, many brilliant minds working on it, so there will be some outcome for sure, but it will take time. And as far as India is concerned, as I told that India is tackling it and struggling. So India requires vaccine. Otherwise, there is no solution, and there will never be a decline in the peak, and there will be never a decline in the corona patients. It's other case that we have very high rate of recovery. That's another thing. There is no role of people or government. That's our climate. There is a climate, and we live in such climate that we have a high immunity. But as as long as the vaccine comes, India is going to suffer like that.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Already there is an audience response. Humaira Tanzila. She said, "Hello everyone. Thanks to all for joining these sessions. It's an informative discussion. Thank you. I think so, different audience will observe these sessions. We already start and connected with around 40 countries around the world, and hopefully more of the peoples will join today. So Arpita, I have a questions because what's the Indian culture? Because India has very diversified culture,
Thank you. I think so.
and
Different audience will.
what your observation on that?
In India is incredible. India is a very beautiful country. I am proud of being an Indian. And as far as culture is concerned, India is all about social varieties, social norms, ethical things, cultures, dedication, love. India is all about all these things. We respect our elders. We love we love our kids. I don't think so that any other country, and please correct me if I'm wrong, any other country would have such possessiveness which our Indian moms do have for us. So it is all about the love and all about the what should I say? All about the aura which is created around ourselves. So India is a very beautiful country. We have so much of diversities in religion. India is a secular country. There are many kind of different people who live there. We welcome everyone who comes in our country, no matter what, where do they come from. So India is very beautiful, and the people who are outside from India who are watching us, please come India and please do visit India and see the incredibility of our country. It's very
Yeah,
beautiful. It's
yeah, definitely.
spectacular, in fact.
Yes, Indians are everywhere. Indians are everywhere. Even in Malaysia, there are many Indian friends we have, and most importantly, even example, they are big fan of Rajanikanth. You know, yes, they watch. I think Bollywood movie. They know Shah Rukh Khan and the Indian food, many things. I actually expect more because Malaysian people are very much fan of food, Indian restaurants, Indian sharis, Indians movie, okay, Indian music. We want to, yes,
Indian food. You missed
Indian
it.
food. Yeah, yeah, Indian food is very famous in Malaysia, Singapore. Many people know about that. So hopefully
So
we will know
Arpita,
more
I
about
have
these
a
things.
question.
So, Madam Arundhati,
Yeah.
my next questions to you, because you are in academia and you have many students and young peoples. So,
Hmm.
what's the inside of Indian education? What's the valuable things you want to share with us? What the cultural point of view you want to add with us? Like we can learn something new about Indian culture. Maybe I missed this point. Yeah.
Okay, as far as education is concerned in India, I teach about most of my students are teenagers, like they are 18, 19, or more, or maybe 20. So what I've seen that over the period of time, this kind of students that are evolving, they're becoming more sincere towards doing something in their lives. Like and the biggest change that I'm seeing in the kind of students that are developing over the period of time is their inclination towards politics, and also they all have an ideological framework. Because if you come across any student, you will see that they have their own viewpoint, like either they are left leaning, they are right leaning, or probably they are liberals, and they all have their own set of opinions. It so happens that whenever there's a discussion in the classroom regarding religion and everything, always I have a bunch of students who will always have agreements and disagreements. So this makes an ideological framework which gives new insight into both of the sections. Either it's the right wing, or either it's the left wing. So I've seen, these kinds of healthy discussions that students are having in the classrooms, and which was not before. Like people, not everyone was so much into politics, or everyone was not having such an ideological framework. Probably this can be one of the reasons evolving, because of media, because of so many things that they see on the social media sites, and how knowledge is transferred to them, and based on that knowledge they are framing their own set of point of view about everything. So it can happen. But yes, Indian students are now actively forming their own viewpoint about things. They are active about how they have to move forward in their lives. And mostly, what I've other thing that I've seen, that students look for the utilitarian aspect of education. They look for something that is close to them, in the cloud, feed them
Yes,
everything
I
that is
think there is.
close to them, in the cloud, feed them.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Madam Arundhati. I directly want to go to Abhishek's. Like you live in Europe, so example, even I just want to share, like in present conditions in COVID-19 situation, country like Malaysia, country like Vietnam's, even Taiwan, this kind of country, even from Europe, we know Germany also doing good in COVID-19 situations. So can you share your some point of views from Norway and Norway cultures? And is there any scope? What do you think that example, the country like Malaysia or Vietnam or Taiwan, this kind of country, those who control COVID situations, how actually we can collaborate, how we can share the different kind of things, and how we can develop like healthcare related relationship in the COVID situation. What your idea? Because you are from purely research background.
Yeah. Uh, what I see in Norway, that how Norwegian government has tackled it, I think the whole world has something to learn from it. So the first thing about the Norwegian government, so governments in Malaysia and everywhere, those who want to tackle COVID-19 situation, they should be proactive. They should be really, really careful and sensitive to each and every step. I will tell you an example. So I think in last week in Bergen, Bergen is a state here in Norway, and there was this official student party, and there came 200 cases of corona, and this was all of a sudden out of the blue. So the government took it very seriously, and all the parties, everything that's banned now, and the students were fined and expelled from the university. So it's a uh, kind of uh, message to others that you don't have to do, otherwise you will be expelled as well. There was then I tell you the some other incidents here. So there was a cruise here, which was lying just beside my university, so because we lie on the shores of the sea. So on that cruise, there were corona patients. So it was one of them got tested, and then others were tested, and the whole cruise was suffering from corona. And then this was a big news that 30 patients are coming from outside, and there were no measures, corona measures taken. So that cruise has to pay a very huge fine, and that has to lose its license for that. So you see how severe and strict the Norwegian government is. Besides that, when then I come to the people, and people are quite obedient, law-abiding, and disciplined. They are not taking it lightly. So if I go for my food in lunch with a Norwegian, they will wear gloves. They will have masks. They will, and everywhere here, you will find sanitizers. So, and they are obeying that. They know that it's for themselves. Unlike in India, where they take it very carelessly. So people have to be very disciplined, and the Tromso healthcare system is very close to my place. So they obey. Whenever I visit that place, I see that people are actually maintaining distance, like this social physical distancing. So they are actually maintaining that. Even in buses, and you go in city center, you'll hardly find people, and that's the reason why Norway at one time was in top 10 countries. Now it is out of top 60 even. So and there are very less number of cases, and the recovery rate is more than 90%. The death rate is very slow, and that's also because of very high infrastructure in the hospitals, and the healthcare facilities are world class.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, and I would also like to comment on the thing which Arundhati was saying, that I have interest in Indian politics as well. So students are now taking some stance, or they are speaking up on Indian politics. And I think when we were students, back when I see my childhood, there was no social media at that time, and people were not that much connected, not that much informed. We used to have one Doordarshan where at one particular slot we'll get some news. Nowadays, every news is like breaking all the time, so they are aware of everything, and information and knowledge distribution is happening in very quick span of time. So that makes people, and somewhere people realize that if you don't participate in politics, somewhere somehow it's going to affect us in the long run. So India is actually a country of youth, and majority of India's population lies in that 20 to 40. So that age group. So so there is a plenty of human resource. And I think the opportunities and the future looks quite bright for India with the advancement in technology. And today we are discussing about the evolution of culture. And I would like to stress the point here that technology has played a very vital and crucial role in evolution of culture recently, in recent times, and it has actually changed the way we look at the world. It has changed the way we think. It has changed our lifestyle completely. So uh, everything is now changed. The marketing, uh, the way we think of about going to shops. So you have everything is based on internet, and you were also asking about the internet, right? So ever since this Geo has come, Geo is the company. India has now the cheapest internet in the world, and they are working quite fine. It's the cheapest network and working so fine. So I think in Norway, I find my broadband service very expensive in comparison to India. I get 1 GB of data like in 700, and people get 1 GB of data each day in 100 rupees. Like that's the comparison you can imagine. So ever since this Geo has come, India has completely transformed. It has metamorphosed the whole internet thing, and the other competitors are also lowering their price to remain in competition. So internet facility is too good now in India, and this had also facilitated. And then with the connection of internet and this COVID situation, there is a connection. The connection is that people were knowing that there is something called Zoom, there is something called Google Meet, and how we can also teach like that. We were like dreaming, and we used to say that okay, this will happen in future. But ever since this COVID-19, as far as the academic activity is concerned, ever since this COVID-19 has kind of forced us. So it is a compulsion now that we can't go out. So there is only one way remaining, and that's why we are more dependent on internet and these Zoom calls and Google Meet and everything, every other um, internet-based facilities and conveniences. So this has given uh, kind of digital platform for our educational activities. So most of the things, wherever possible, they are doing it digitally, and that, as Arpita was saying, that it's going quite smoothly. Yeah, so that's my viewpoint.
Yes, thank you, thank you. There is a very good audience response from Noor Fazrin. She said, "Good evening, everybody. It is a great to see all the young contributor participating in this program. India people are very hardworking and they have strong dedication of their work. What are the secret behind the success?" So I start with because this is the audience response. So first I want to go from Arpita, then Arundhati, then Abhishek. Yes. And today is very interesting. I find that today actually triple A. Okay. This is the fact everybody's name start with A. Okay. Let's start with Arpita.
The person who has asked for the secret of Indians' dedication and Indians' labor, I would simply say that the secret behind this concept is माँ का love, mother's love. In Hindi it is called माँ का love, माँ का प्यार, and uh, in Indian concern, it is all about the mother's food. So basically, whoever is asking for the secret, we eat here. We eat a lot of different kinds of food made by the hands of our mothers, and comparatively outside, people have to make their own food. Basically they are independent there, and I'm not saying that Indians are not independent here, but there is a very beautiful concept of family love. So apart from the sarcasm, I would like to say that in India the concept of family resides very prevalently. The concept here, we have the concept of joint family. We do not live independently. We live with our grandparents, be it paternal grandparents, be it maternal grandparents. So, see, we have the blessings of our elders. So, I would, in my terms, this is the secret of Indians, and this is the secret of the successfulness of Indians. Am I right, Abhishek? Do you agree with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So you must be missing you must be missing your mom's handmade cooked food.
Of course I do. Yeah, I miss you.
So,
Yes.
so it's
Yes.
all about the dedication. It's all about the love. It's all about the respect we have for each other. Even we have this respect thing for our younger ones, for our kids, and see, everybody knows the culture of India here. We speak very politely with our elders. We used to refer them as up, and we used to do this like do the use these words as kar lijiye, dj. See, these things are very basics about Indians. So I so in my context, all these basic etiquettes, all these basic manners, the feeling of togetherness, basically the feeling of togetherness, makes Indians credible and makes India credible.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Arundhati, what do you want to share about your secret of success?
Okay, see, as like Arpita said, that it's of course the whole idea is rightly embedded in the food that we eat, and it's not just about the food; it's embedded in the whole culture. How we, right from a woman gets pregnant, right from there everything starts. Okay, the kind of food she eats, the kind of love she gets from the family, the kind of treatment a child gets when the child is born, and after that how the entire growth takes place. So irrespective of everything, we are not left completely to ourselves. There's always, we have our parents back, we have the back of our family members, so that gives you the confidence. That's the first thing. Okay, so and apart from that, yes, we are hardworking, because that's how you become extreme, you become hardworking when you are tested in your extremities. And that also happens because of the school teaching. Right from the school, the whole education system in India is way beyond the other countries, because they are tested too much. When you see in the syllabus of an ICSE schools, they have to study so much, and so much of pressure right from the beginning. They get accustomed to that kind of a pressure, and ultimately when they move ahead in life, things start getting better and better, but they have got used to that extreme pressure, extreme work culture, and that is how they perform. And when they go out, they are just performing normally, which seems to be a very hard working thing for other people. So that's how culturally we are trained to be who we are.
Yes, Abhishek, can you share with us your secret of success? Before that, I want to add one thing. Our another our team member, Mohammad Sohail Rana, he said that thanks all talented person for nice discussions. Yeah.
Yeah, as Arpita said, I would agree that it's the family's love. You respect your parents. Right from the beginning, you're taught to respect your parents, elders. You respect your teachers. The Indian traditional system actually teaches us moral values, the integrity, and that's very important. It makes us a human being with empathy and kindness. It reveals in plenty of ways. In your habits, in the food you eat, and how you dress up, how you communicate with people. Um, I can share you when I went in Finland for the first time in 2015. So so I was having my own thing, like my own values, my own cultural values. And when you go outside abroad, you see a lot of cultural shocks. And I also saw many. So I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I'm vegetarian. And these three things, people were like, how is this possible? Like, because this is quite common there. No, you will hardly find a person who is vegetarian, who don't drink, and who don't smoke. So that's a big cultural shock for them, but it's very normal for me. So, then my supervisor used to say that, Abhishek, you should go and play, because I was working all the time, and he was saying that you should go out of the office, and he was pushing me to go out instead of pushing me to work. So you can see, because the I think the secret of success, that's a very broad question, but when it comes to me, I will say that in childhood, from the childhood, the parents kind of nourishes your mind, feeds your brain in such a way that when you will be grown up, you will be something, you will do this and you will do that, and I think the youngsters take up these challenges, and most of them, of course. Um, and they are quite adjusting in nature, and they adjust, vary themselves according to the situation and circumstances. They're not like demanding. That's one of the most dramatic and drastic change here I see in Europe. They are like, they always want comfort, but we never demand that. We can go in general class boggy of train, and in business class of aeroplane, and we will be the same. So that's the difference. I have traveled in both, so I can say that I have traveled in both. So we never want a lot of comfort. We can live with pain. We can live with, because we have seen pain. We have seen poverty. We have seen how financial crisis is. What financial crisis is. So we work hard just to maintain a good lifestyle, and because we have seen a lot of things, we have a vast amount of experiences. So bearing this in mind, everyone would work hard.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Beside that, I just want to share that Malaysia has very good culture. In COVID period, you can check that even in Asia Pacific region, I think top countries like those who control COVID situation very well, Malaysia is one of them. I think around 128 peoples, 30 million people, 32 million people in Malaysia, only 128 million people. But I'm really sorry those who died for COVID. But beside that, they are also controlling this situation very well. I also want to add another things like example, women empowerment. In Malaysia, we observe that women empowerment is a very important, and they are playing very good. So also India, we know that example that they have very good culture. They have huge amount of population. But I want to know, as per culture, what the situation in women empowerment, and what the situations of gender issues and other things from Arundhati. Then I will ask these questions to Arpita. I think Arundhati also working on sexual violence and this kind of things. Can you please share with us about this point? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, see, as far as the treatment of gender in this country is, there is a vast disparity in every section, every household, every state, every place you are treated in a different way. But there is one thing which is very common amongst all these things, is that the dominance of patriarchy. Our entire system is mostly patriarchal, and women are generally the marginalized section when it comes to gender. That's the first thing. Secondly is, in most of the cases, when it comes to normal families where education is just something that has to be followed, it's not a necessity. So right from the grassroots level, if I talk about middle class families where people are not very broad minded, they prefer to provide better educations to their sons as compared to their daughters. But I have also seen households where there is complete equality. Like my education, I think my school education was better than my brother. So my parents made sure that they were providing me better education. So that's one thing. So you will see disparity and different kind of treatment in different households. And when it comes to, but I think when you get married, no matter how empowered you are, like I am married, and no matter how empowered you are, that complete setup of the gender roles come into play once you are married. Because you have to deal with all kinds of people. The household that you go into, you may go into a household which has got an orthodox mindset, or you can go into a broad-minded family. So even when broad-minded families are there, I have often seen that their treatment of gender roles, it's very different. There's always this thing that a woman should take care of the household, no matter if, even if she is working, the responsibility is hers, and then the of course the financial aspect goes to the boys. But we are in the transitional phase also, where women are working and women are also taking care of the domestic space, and men are working, and slowly they have also started taking care of the domestic space. So we are in that transitional phase. But as a woman of 21st century in 2020, I think we are bearing the burden of this transitional phase, where you have to work outside also, you have to perform well outside also in your career, you have to be a responsible person for domestic space also. So these are the few things. And of course, you know how gender discourse is treated, and how people are treated when there is sexual violence in the country. First and foremost, as far as the most sensational case in India was in 2012, December 16th, when Nirbhaya was raped, and how people, rather than talking about the atrocities that were inflicted upon her, how she was awfully treated and raped by these people, the first discussion that people started doing was how she shouldn't have gone out late night with her friend, and how she shouldn't, everything started, she was being judged actually. This there was People started fitting her into the concept of an ideal victim. And the problem is that once the victim doesn't seem ideal to the society, people start blaming the victim. So initially there was complete blame game, but when people got the details of how she was raped and everything, and the controversy started, then many people started changing their opinion. But yes, that was the time when most of the women, even I remember in 2012, I was on the streets shouting out loud that we need to change the society, we need justice for this woman. So that was the first time when actually women started talking for themselves, and they had this courage to say that stop judging me based on what I wear, and stop treating me the way you want to. So those are the things that have changed, and I have seen a significant change. Like initially it was difficult to speak up for yourself as a woman, but from 2012 I have seen this change. You can speak up, and when people counter you, you can give example of the Nirbhaya case and tell them that why it is important to speak. So there has been a lot of change, and women are constantly trying to change a lot of things, but still we have miles to go before we sleep. So that's it.
Yes, yes, yes. No, this is very good analysis. I directly want to go to Arpita. What's your observation on women empowerment? How we can work, because we are global citizen right now. Let's say Abhishek is in Norway, I'm in Malaysia, you are in India. We are all global citizen. How we can work on women empowerment? How we can support more women? How we can give them proper respect? How we can, and this is also part of culture actually. Yes.
See, so the question is very much interesting. I find it interesting because right now I'm associated with a platform. The name of the platform is Women Crayons, and we are working mostly on the social norms, social issues which revolves around the women. So I find this question quite connecting with that platform. We had two sessions as far as now it's concerned. The first one, see, all these things are integrated and all these things are associated with culture. Today we are here to talk on the culture. The first session was about the dowry tradition in India. You must be also be knowing because this this culture is very much prevalent here. As earlier it started as the token of gift, but later on, since India is a developing country, it used to become quite burden. And as Arundhati mentioned that we are in the transitional phase, she mentioned it very beautifully. So I would like to put light on the sessions which are ongoing on those platforms. And in fact today in the afternoon I had a talk with a bureaucrat of Madhya Pradesh. It's a state in India. So today's session was also about the women raising voice against the odds. And as a journalist, I was connecting with her, and we were on the conversation. How does this police administration, how does this authority works? See, the reason behind telling you about these sessions is that it's not so that we are not working upon it. We are rigorously working on women empowerment. And as far as women empowerment is concerned, few months back, the Supreme Court has also passed this passed this rules that girls will be getting the equal property share of their forefathers or of their parents. So see, we are into the transition phase. We are working a lot on this. And yes, Arundhati, you mentioned one thing that your education has been much more better in as comparative to your brother. This is the same case with me also. I have been, in fact, I and Arundhati share two alma maters. So we were taught into a very lavish and we were taught into very good schools in our childhood. But but uh, talking about our siblings, they might not have got that much of opportunity. So if you analyze the cases of we both of of us, Arundhati and Arpita, so you can easily see that all this mindset of empowerment differ from home to home. So as far as empowerment is concerned, we are being concerned, debates are being taken, we are discussing on it, and we are changing a lot. We are being empowered. We are being empowered.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also want to add something on it.
Sure.
Yes, yes. Abhishek,
Yeah,
I want to take your view in that way because you want to be future politicians. So you want to take more responsibility. So what's your opinion on this women empowerments? How do you want to see? How do you want to see the South Asian continent? How we should respect women and how we empower them?
yeah, yeah. Disclaimer is that I am not going to be in politics soon. I don't know. I don't have such aspirations. But yes, as far as the women empowerment is concerned, so if you want to see how much a nation is civilized, cultured, then you must see how they treat their women, how a woman is
Exactly.
treated, how a woman is
Exactly.
respected, and that shows how civilized a country is. And India, as Arundhati said, India is in transition phase. Exactly, that's right. And we have this patriarchal mindset. I mean, in Indian society is quite patriarchal still, and we see men and women as two different entities, and our behaviors quite change. I will just tell everything from a male perspective. So, there'll be some harsh truth. There are some harsh truths about how we see women. I think a lot of things has to change. Our mindset has to change, and it is changing slowly. But there is, as you said, that there are still miles to go. So yeah, the dowry system has to change, and it will change not by just saying. It will change by example. If I say that dowry system to change when I marry, then I shouldn't take dowry. So that will make a change for sure. It will inspire people to not do this. Yeah. And when so I will make sure, I'll try to make sure that it doesn't happen when I marry. So I mean, youngsters have to think like that in order to bring a change. So as our great leader Mahatma Gandhi have said, that be the change you want to be the change you want to see in your society. So
You want to
you have
see.
to be that example. So examples actually make a difference, not your opinions. As far as these rapes are concerned, so looking at the large population size of India and the number of rapes happening, it's not that big number. And let's compare it to the number of rapes happening in America. So there are more number of rapes happening statistically than India, but the Indian media highlights it, and the American media suppresses it. That's the difference. The Indian media will highlight a rape, and the whole international media will see Indians as a rapist, and that's what happened. And it's something which bothers me, hurts me. I was here in a conference, and I met a girl, Norwegian girl. She was new and fresh, and she asked me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "India." And immediately she said, "It's you are from India." I said, "Yeah." And she said that it's such a bad country to be a woman. I said, "Really?" I was shocked. And that's very bad, because they said that you guys raped a 6 year child. That's what she said. And it's very painful for me. And I try to give a lot of theories and examples. We are a country where there is a sloka in Sanskrit. Yat naryas pujante ramante tatra devata. It means that wherever this is coming from the Vedas. So wherever girls, women are respected, there is godliness. So if they are not respected, so irrespective of how successful you are, you will never be happy. So and that's what our traditional values are, and that's how modern people should imbibe those traditional values as well. So let's compare it to Norway. So here in Norway or in Scandinavia, I don't find people seeing women, men as two different entities. Of course, they are different, but there is quite similarity. And women are quite feminist. They are really, they know their rights. Everyone knows their rights. So things like rapes, domestic violence, dowry, these things are they are not found here. So and women see men, and men see women equally, and that's the biggest change I see from Indian perspective coming here in Norway or Europe. So I think as you said that we are a global citizen now, and we are living in a globalized world, and where men and women meet. So I mean, Indians they have been seen recently because of this media hype that a lot of rapes are happening, but it's actually one rape which is hyped to a very extreme extent. So, but overall, if you see the number of population, and if you compare the number of rapes happening, that's very low. That's very low, and it shows something. It shows that we have high self-respect and high moral values. And if you see the family structure, if you see how we treat our, and there is another proverb which says that the whole society, the perspective of whole society will change, and it will change only when you see a stranger girl, and if she is very beautiful, then you don't see her as a wife, but you see her as your uh, sister or mother or your daughter. So I think these things, and we are very quick to judge as well. We are very quick to judge, and based on the clothing, I think there was a movie called Pink, and I think you guys might be knowing. It's a very beautiful movie and having a
Yes, yes,
very brilliant
yes.
message, very brilliant message. How and this movie, I think everyone should watch, and it gives a clear message of how this patriarchal system works, and it
Hmm.
breaks the stereotypes, and
Hmm.
how this, I mean, it's also somewhere in other parts of Southeast Asia, not only in India. We have a very fragile male ego, and like that's the problem. Fragile male ego, it gets hurt very easily, and everything shouldn't be taken in that way. There are few practical things. So women are not only. I have had this kind of conversations with my friends, and they have, some of them have this opinion that they are only, women are only for preparing food or producing babies, but they are not. They are not. They are also having the same souls and same freedom, same rights, and everything same. So they shouldn't be seen in that way. That's my point, and that's what I wanted to say. So the mindset has to change. That's the important thing.
Thank you, Mr. Abhishek. There are more audience response, and can I extend these sessions because there are more audience questions I have to take, because this is 1 hour of sessions.
Yeah, yeah,
If
sure.
you are available based on your availability. Okay, thank you. So I have few questions from Araf Mehraz, then Hosne Arafedos, then Abiyaz Mustain. So Araf Mehraz, his question is that I have an observations. Is culture evolutions of people happening fast due to culture past, or culture is changing due to change of people? Okay, so this is one question. Another questions, this is from Hosna Arafedo. She said whether
Can you repeat that question, please?
yes,
I couldn't hear
I
your
yes,
question.
what I understand, even what I understand, that how actually people cultures change from past to the present situation. This is the things he want to understand,
Hmm.
that from the past, let's say 50 years before, India has different cultures. Now 21st century, step by step they are moving with technology, they are moving with even COVID situation, right? It's a changing. What's your
Hmm.
opinion
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
that? Second
Hmm.
question, she said, whenever cultures are a barrier to women empowerment, I think in many cases it is a matter of different culture in different country, isn't it? So what's your observations? Even Abhishek, I think he can give a very good questions or answer on that. Like how actually women empowerment vary in different countries. Even Arpita and Arundhati, you also can give answer on that particular point. Abiyaz Mustain, he said, Mr. Abhishek, does that mean we cannot say that people mentally is changing very fast due to cultural past? Okay, so this is the direct question of Mr. Abhishek. Okay, so I want to start with Arpita. Yeah.
See, I would like to answer the first question, which is asked that past, that we are changing from past to future, and means we are into the transition phase. So, as a communication student, I would like to conclude this in a very concise way. Uh, See, there are three basic needs: fooding, sheltering, and clothing. And as a communication student, I say that communication is the fourth need, fourth basic need. So the whole concept, which, as I say, the whole concept of changing and whole concept of evolution is there. It's all about the change in communication, because it matters, communication matters a lot. We are discussing on the issues which are being suppressed, we are talking about the issues which are not out by media. So yes, culture is changing, and communication plays a very major role. Communication plays a very broad role. And how are the things changing? The change in, be it the change in dressing style, be it the change in fooding culture, be it the change in adapting any new technology. How is it going? The answer would be simply, we are communicating to each other. We are communicating in different and diverse ways. Message, see. And one more thing, after the digital era, we are means I'm talking about the Indian aspect. India is developing in a very fast manner digitally. So as far as the communication is concerned, there are a lot of flow of messages, and due to these flow of messages, we are changing a lot in different, and we are changing a lot in very fast pace. So yes, culture is changing. As for example, we could see that we would not have thought also that the engagement ceremony or the marriage ceremony could be taken virtually. But yes, these all things have also gone so far. In fact, different kinds of religious things are also making places in virtual space. So yes, we are transitioning a lot. Culture is changing a lot, and the independency concern is there. The independency things is coming, which was not earlier. So yes, culture is changing a lot, and I personally find that these behind all these change of culture, communication and the flow of messages, the exchange of messages, the imparting of knowledge, the transferring of messages play a very major role.
Mhm. Thank you. Madam Arundhati, what's your observations, even women empowerments as well as the cultural fact, how you want to explain? Because you are expert on gender issues and these things.
First of all, like there was this question on, are we changing faster because culture is changing, whatever the question was. So about that, I want to say that first of all, we as a society, we are changing very fast because of technology. Over the past 10 years, we have seen a significant change in how technology has developed. And because of that, a lot of things has changed, and it's not changed because something suddenly happened, or but it has gradually changed, like the way we used to treat people, the way we used to interact with each other, everything. And culture also changes because of the need, the necessity, and the utility of things. Like there's always this example given, like there's this is this part of Indian culture that you shouldn't broom your house and throw the dust outside at night. Okay, so there was this reason behind it, because way back in those days when electricity was something which was not, way back, not today but way back, it was not in everybody's house. So if you throw out the dust in the morning, in at night, you may throw away important things. So now that has changed, so now you cannot tell anyone to follow that culture. So that is why culture changes, because there are certain things which were needed at that point of time, so a culture was formed. Now it is not needed, so culture changes. First thing. Now coming to the concept of women empowerment, yes, I think to some extent culture is framed in a certain way that it completely uh, the women empowerment becomes an obstacle. Women are treated as second class citizens in terms of culture. But when it comes to certain cultures, like when in Indian culture, if you go back in the Rig Veda ages and those Vedic period, women were not second class citizens. Women were very much equal part of the society. But over the period of time when other the countries were attacked and foreigners started coming in, settling down and attacking our women, or probably taking them, raping them. So then culture had to change. We had to bring a lot of changes in the society so that we can protect our women in a certain way. But certain things are done for certain reasons, and it just and when it is followed without any particular reason explained to the next generation, they just go on following it without any reason, and then it becomes a part of a culture without any explanation. And when the society actually changes, like, nobody is going to come and annex your territory, annex your state. Nobody is coming to Bihar and annex it and then rape all the women in Bihar. But things haven't changed. We need to change that. The women, the restrictions were imposed on women for certain reasons back then, but now the society has changed, but people haven't. So yes, culture does at time act as an obstacle. And I think women will have to speak for themselves if they want the culture to function in a certain way. So
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
directly want to ask questions, Mr. Abhishek, that from audience, they have a specific question to you based on your communications. Mr. Abhishek, does that mean we cannot say that people mentally is changing very fast due to cultural past? So what your analysis? I think that he asked you question from your
There
previous
is
discussion.
two aspects of the question. So the question is like people are changing mentally because of what happened in the past, or
Yes.
people are changing mentally because
Mhm.
what's happening in the present. I think
Mhm.
what's happening in the present that affects us. Of course,
Mhm.
the past memories remain, but what happens in present that matters the most. And uh, I think that technology and science that is a big thing, and that has a great potential to change the culture of. And I think it has already changed. So, suppose we were living in 80s, 1980s. So if I have to know about something, how will I know? I will have to go and read books. There was no Google at that time. And suppose at that time, if I have to get a paper published, how will I do that? Imagine how tough it would be. Now it's just digital. And I can give you many examples, many examples. I have to go to shop earlier to buy something. Now I can order it online. So these things, our habits are changing. And um, I would also like to give something, my comment on something about the cultural change. For understanding the cultural change, we need to understand what actually defines our culture. So if I go on Google and type what is actually culture, so it defines that the arts and the manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively, or the ideas, the customs, the social behavior of a particular people or society. So I will go for society because if a particular habit is found in the whole society, that is the kind of culture, of course. So like in Bihar, we have this Chhat festival. That's also a culture. So it's in our culture in Bihar. In Onam when I did my masters, there was this Onam festival. Am I audible?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, so and as Arpita was saying, there will be change. There will be a change, of course, and change is the only change which never changes in this changing world. So there will be a change always. So change is the only change which never changes. So you can understand is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, and about this past, of course the past, but I think the present thing and keeping future in mind that affects us most. And yeah,
Yes.
um,
Okay, thank you. Thank you. There is more audience response. I want to take Mama Shumon Dorji. He said, nice discussion. My question is how much cultural activism actually dominant in the age of digitalization or in the age of globalizations? So I want to start with Arundhati. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat the question, please?
My question is that they want to know the in like globalizations and digitalizations, how it actually dominate the cultural activities.
Yeah, actually, the activism plays a very vital role in changing the culture. See, when it comes to any sort of women issues, okay, whenever there is this activism that takes place, it takes the process that is gradually changing. That process accelerates a lot just in a few minutes, or not minutes, because of the activism that takes place. So it acts as an accelerator in the process of cultural change. It gives you space, it gives you the necessary change that is needed in the society. So whatever change is needed, if it is an immediate response you require from it, I think activism is the best way you can respond and bring in the change you're looking for.
Mhm. Thank you, thank you. Orpita, my directly question is to you. Like, you have your career focus, right? You have your own plan and other things. How you getting support from your family, from your society, from your friends, or from your colleagues? How is practical field you get your support?
See, as far as the support is concerned, and as far as my career, my choice of living is concerned, I find myself really lucky to have to have a family, to have a parents where they really give me privilege, where I am privileged to choose my own career. In fact, talking about the career, I would like to share an experience that when here what happens when the children pass their 12th boards. There is a system that the girls see, these all things are stereotyped, but I'm talking about this, that the girls opt to choose the medical field, and the boys choose to opt the engineering field. When I passed my 12th, my father was more like, Arpita, go for medical. See, it's a prestigious option. It's a prestigious occupation. But I was more into literature. I wanted to pursue literature ahead in my career. So I said that I do not want to go for medical field, and they were okay. They said, okay, you have your choice. Whatever career you want to pursue, whatever things you want to go for. So I proudly chose my career. I wanted to go to the literature field, and see, all these things are, as far as the cooperation is concerned, we Indians are we are very much cooperative towards each other. We uplift each other, be it in the phase of career, be it in the phase of student life, be it in the phase of college life. We uplift. See, India is all about dedication. India is all about culture. I would like to put my emphasis time and again that India is very immense in cultural activities, up, irrespective of the diversities, be it in people, lifestyle, be it in dresses, be it in food. But India is all about culture, and I'm really proud of it. So, as far as the culture and Indian culture is concerned, you might add that there is a very beautiful culture of helping each other. So my family is very much supportive towards me, and my friends are very much supportive. We try to uplift each other if the other party is oppressed, or he or she needs the upliftment. And in a nutshell, I would say that this only, I don't think so that this only prevails in India. We are talking about the global culture. So I think that this prevails in everywhere where you are living or where Abhishek is living, be it Malaysia or be it Europe. This helping culture prevails everywhere, and as a blooming society, me, youth, and every one of us need to stand together, be it any kind of atrocity or be it any kind of progressiveness. We need to hold our hands together and forever, and we need to support each other in each and everything.
Thank you.
I want to say
Abhishek,
something here.
Yes, yes. I ask you a question before that. I'm sorry because sometimes I have to mute yourself because of I understand you are from lab. Maybe you are using lot of software, so that's why there are some noise from your discussion. Sorry about that. But yes, what you want to add? And I have a question because you have a very good visions and other thing, and you have a very good friend from India. So even though, like example, after few years, after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you go back India, and like examples, Indian peoples or your community give you chances that you will be the leaders for them. So what are the three things you want to change, or what are the three things you want to add in your cultures?
That's what I wanted to say. That cultures change, and in this globalized society, it will change because people are moving from one country to another. I am Indian. I am born and brought up in different culture, and I am coming here in Norway, and I'm seeing a new culture altogether. So if I live here for 4 years, then I will certainly imbibe some of its values in me. And when I will go back to India, I'll try to share it with my community as well. And there'll be some spread for sure, some spread of these values and uh, this thought process, the my thought process, and there'll be some effect on my friends and my family and people whom I know. Yeah, and as far as your question is concerned, that if I am given an opportunity to be a politician in India, and what will I change? I would like to bring a lot of changes, and I'll be there is a whole list of things to do. And if I start telling, then you'll have to do another session maybe. I have plenty of things in my mind. When back in 2018, when I was there, I tried to work on environment and cleanliness and things which where I could make a change. But if I am given the power, then I will surely like to change in the political system and the way we choose leaders. There should be a merit test for becoming a leader. That's the first thing I want, because we suppose I will be a PhD scholar in future, and I won't be like to be ruled from someone who is ninth fail. I won't like to. I won't. This doesn't fit. I mean, I can't digest that. So there should be a merit test, a moral test, and that's the first thing I would like to do. Then about the startups, about the growth of GDP, I think that's the second thing which I would like to do, because we need innovation, we need research, we need new products to come, we need to compete, and people need to be uh, told this. We don't need to mug up the lessons of history and geography, which will be useless after the exam. But we need to create, we need to innovate, and we need to produce our own goods, our own things. And I think everyone is capable of it. And our education system has to impart its knowledge in such a way that it harnesses the potential of everyone according to their potential. I mean, everyone has their own interest and their own merit, and where they can excel, and that has to be identified. I think that's the second thing I would like to do. And then there are a lot of issues internally in the bureaucracy. So I think corruption is one of them. I think there has to be very harsh laws for corruptions, and uh, people are quite frustrated sometimes. I am also one of them. When I see like government bureaucrats being corrupt, and that's not only in India, but I think that's the whole Southeast Asia, and it happens everywhere here in Norway as well. Somewhere it happens everywhere, but it's quite rampant back in India. I know that, and I would like to be quite strict in this. And if somehow somewhere if I hold any administrative position, I think my subordinates will have a hard time, and that's what my friends say, because I don't like things to be done in dishonest or careless manner. So they will have a hard time. That's what I can say. And surely there is a huge desire to bring a change. Uh, it might be either going in politics or without going in politics, or either affecting political decisions somehow, because that's how we. I mean, but the thing is that change has to be there, and we are the change makers, and we owe a lot to our society, because the society has given a lot of things to us. We and That's the responsibility I feel on my soldiers, that I owe a lot of things, and I can give what I can contribute, what I can give, and how good or better things I can produce or deliver. So, and that's why in the field of education, I do many things. I try to inspire young aspiring students who have their like brilliant minds in science. So I try to help them as much as possible, and I think everyone should do that. Because when I was a student, I hardly found someone who was helping me or motivating me, encouraging me, patting on my back. I didn't find people were discouraging me. That's a shame. I like to do when I see some spark in people. We need to encourage each other. We need to lift ourselves, uplift others as well. So uh, yeah, and of course the way we see women and women's safety, and that's a very important thing in society. And the overall the mental setup, the mindset, the thought process, uh, I think that's a very collective approach. I think every individual has to take part in it. And it's not only me who can bring it. I will say that, okay, I can bring a change, something. No, I can do that until unless everyone participates in it voluntarily. It's not only me. I can create that spark, but to bring a fire, it has to be from everyone. It has to be collective.
Thank you, Abhishek. This is very constructive discussions. I want to add one of the things, because, like example, even I was in Europe, I was in different part of the world. I think around 40 countries I visited, and I was for my study, my business, and many more activities I do involve strongly. So, like example from this, let's say from Malaysia and India. Example, India. I want to say India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Actually, is a we can think about India. So we have some sort of challenges and problems. And what the, let's say Singapore, why Singapore is a small country, but they are playing very good, and they are one of the developed nation. Even they do not have natural resources, they do not have a very good amount of land, they do not have many things, but they are growing very smoothly and very sustainably. So I try to learn from this ecosystem, like what's happening, what's the inner secret they have, that if any country can implement their inner secret, and they will be success. So I learned from one of the professor that they have three things. It's called MPH. M is meritocracy, P is a better policy, and H is honesty. So what is meritocracy? Even when we like visited different Asian countries and different country, you find that, let's say, any politicians or a businessman or a government administrator, what they put their family members, they put their relatives, this is culture. Yes, everywhere they have their family members. So first, actually, Singapore, they ensured that, example, they will put the right people and the excellent people in the excellent place. So this is number one. It's called meritocracy. Number two, policy. Like for developing a policy, let's say Abhishek want to go for politics. This is very good, because politics need more talent people like Abhishek than even Arpita, even Arundhati. So if they have a better policy, like they took better policy from capitalism, from socialisms, so best policy they integrated. And number three, honesty. Even any people do corruption, right the way they go against them. Even if he is a minister, she is a minister, or for a powerful family, whatever it is, right the way they go against that. So it's my understanding from Singapore, like example, if we uh, follow these three things: number one, meritocracy; You cannot put your relatives and everything like those who are not capable in the big positions. Number two, better policy. I think we have a lot of lackings. I think Abhishek also agree with me, or you are also agree with me. We need better policy. And number three, honesty, transparency. This is the way of success. Everybody say that okay, we are big countries, we have many people, we have many challenges. Things are not like that. Even if a test and trial basis, we take a small city or a small district or a small town and we are trying to revise these things, maybe it's a very good approach for developing. So World Talent Economy Forums actually trying to work on that, how we can create better policy, how we can create, our name is World Talents, how we can bring more talent people like you, how we can integrate it with the global community, with the global policy. And we also want to be very transparent, we want to also want to be very honest and sincere in our job. So there is more audience response I want to take that Mohammad Shoel Rana, he's actually doing a lot of job for World Talent Economy Forum, and I want to give special thanks to Mohammad Shoel Rana for a very good contribution. He said that culture change will always happen, but if we do not change our mindset, it will not be possible to do uh, c- civilian properly, or human civilization will be collapse, isn't it? So he's talking about mindset. So I
Yeah,
directly want to go to,
I can
yes.
go. I can say something on that. What makes, that's what I'm saying, that in order to understand our culture, what that's what I said, it has to be collective. So our thoughts, first of all, our thoughts. That's where everything begins. Thoughts create our actions, action create our habits, habit creates or character, and then that's for an individual. And when there is a particular habit which is found in majority of the people of that community, that's the culture. So yeah, we have to start from our thought process and our mindset. Otherwise I mean we have to change for better. That's the thing. I see many good things and many bad things. I have to choose the good things, because I mean every culture has some merits and demerits. So there are some superstitious beliefs which are coming from traditions. We don't need that, and we need to think scientifically, and that's where scientific temperament has a role to play. And if we ask for logic in every argument, whether it is religious, suppose there is a religious argument, and if we ask for logic in that, and if it has a scientific logic, because science without religion is blind, and religion without science is dumb. I think I have said it the correct way. So we need to have a scientific temperament. Firstly, I agree that mindset has to change, and it has to be more scientifically oriented, and religion will go hand in hand.
Thank you. Arundhati, what's your opinion on that particular point, especially
Yeah.
mindset and different issues we are discussing about policy, about startup, about honesty, about sincerity? We are bringing many interesting things. Yeah.
So like you said, that mindset, I think mindset is something that is a grassroots level working for everything that we needs, that needs to change in our society. Whenever it comes to any sort of violence, any sort of issue in the society, any kind of thing that happens in the society, the first thing that we have to do in that situation is that work on the mindset of people. So yes, that is rightly said, that culture has to change, and that change will happen only if the mindset is changed. Okay. So like you said, you were talking about Singapore and the kind of hardworking people that you have seen there and everything. So that was the same thing, that when I was there in Singapore, I came across all these people, and I used to wonder what is it about these people. And so yes, transparency is one of the things that I have seen, that how, and it's not just about transparency, it's also about the strict rules and regulations that they have. Like, you cannot eat in a cab, you cannot drink anything in a cab, and even if there's no one watching, all of them follow it strictly. Even when they have to stand in a line, stand for the metro trains, and since I was a new person out there, I was randomly standing there, and I saw people. They were standing in a line, and since I was not in a line, everyone was looking at me. And then I was like, okay, I am the out one out. It feels like an ugly duckling situation. So you have to ultimately gel with them and follow the rules and regulations. So uh, these are the things that is culturally embedded in them now, that you have to follow the rules, and if you don't follow the rules, you will have to bear the consequences. And they have CCTV cameras, 24-hour surveillance at every place. So that is of course one of the things. And that is how they manage corruption also. And to change things in the society, I think we have to change the mindset of the people. Like when we were talking about that rape, when Nirbhaya case had happened, there were many arguments in India that these are the people who need to be studied, that why would they do something so inhuman to a woman. The whole problem is the idea of objectification. We tend to objectify women. We don't tend to see them as human beings. We tend to see them as the other. We tend to see them as the an object, and that is what changes our behavior. That is what changes our treatment towards them. The way you treat an object, you start treating the woman in a certain way, in the similar way. If
Yeah.
there's a doll, you can just throw a doll and not feel anything about it. So similarly, we are also treated like that. That is how objectification works. So if we try to change that thing at the grassroots level, when students are in the school and both of the girls and boys are treated in the same way, and if the same thing, it's not just the responsibility of the schools and colleges. There is another institution which plays a vital role, and which is the family. The whole problem starts there, because you can give a certain degree of education to 60 students at one time in a school, but what about the things that they are learning from the family? And that is not going to change if you make your children sit and give them lectures, because they don't learn things from lectures. They learn things from what they see, the way the father treats the mother. They will see that, and they will, and that is how they will understand, okay, that is how woman is supposed to be treated. If the father treats the woman in a certain way, that is how he will treat his wife. Sometimes it may happen, there are many people who have this tendency of learning things in different way. They will understand that this is not the way my father should treat my mother, and they will make sure that they are not treating their wives in the same way. But in most of the cases, the situation is different. They will learn it from their parents. So that is why it is very important to understand the difference between what has to understand whatever has been taught to us, how useful, good or bad it is for us. Because the whole aspect is not just our whole life is not revolving around what we are learning, but it is also about what we are unlearning. Because there are so many things in the journey that you will be learning which you shouldn't be learning. So you will have to make sure that you are unlearning to learn the better version of everything. So that is why mindset is framed. That is how mindset is framed, and that is how mindset will help change the culture in a better way. And that is how human existence will prevail, thrive, and continue to exist.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
have a point to add here about the objectification of women, and that's a very big thing actually. I think Bollywood movies and they have a very big role to play here. And because everyone in their childhood, we grow up watching those movies, and the way they present women, this is there. And at that time, our minds are quite impressionable, and whatever impression that is imprinted on that at that time, so that leaves and that makes that decides how we are going to behave in that situation. So I think Bollywood movies, I think people should be quite careful of what they watch and what they digest. Every masala Bollywood movie will present a woman as if she is an object. So and that's why I don't watch Bollywood movies.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I ask people not to do that, because
Okay.
they are the mirrors of society. They are the mirrors of society. They show what's happening in the society. So and they are like they are artists actually, and they
Yes,
are just revealing what's happening in the society. Yeah.
yes, even especially I think that how we observe from the Indian serials, Indian culture is, I think, different. Indian culture is completely
Yes.
different. How there are
Yes.
family politics, family issues, a lot of crises. I believe that Indian people
Yeah,
are
yeah,
much
it's
more
totally
better.
different. It's totally
Yes.
different. And you when you see documentaries, then you find the real Indian culture, because Indian
Real,
culture,
yeah.
there is nothing like Indian culture. Indian culture varies with every 5 kilometer distance. You will find different language, different dialect, different dress culture, different dance, different music, different art, and with all this diversity, we are united.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
I would like to add something. Abhishek, you were talking about how there is objectification in terms of how Bollywood portrays women. So in that situation, I was also just today, I think, in a country, a woman has banned this movie called Cuties in Netflix. The whole problem is that it is not just India. In the whole world, there is more emphasis on male gaze. What you are providing to the audience, you are providing to the consumers, you are making sure that you are targeting the male gender and providing them things that you think that they will be liking it. And her whole argument revolved around the fact that these were actually 11-year-old kids who wanted to be treated like adults, and that is why they created a dance group. And in that, and the moment I saw that, okay, why is this banned, I think I need to go and just have a glance through it, that why, what is so controversial about it. So when I went and I was just scrolling and moving forward, the dance performance, the way an 11-year-old child's body was displayed in front of the camera, in front of the audience, I was surprised. And her whole argument was that this is a treat to the pedophiles, and we are giving them this platform to aggravate that tendency of targeting these little children. So when you provide a treat to the male audience in certain way, you are actually perpetuating that tendency of objectifying, targeting women, treating them in a certain way, treating them like sexual objects. And this also increases the number of cases, both in terms of sexual violence towards women and children.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
that's what.
yes. Orpita, what you want to say? Because this is very crucial. Even cultural things, even we believe that India has better culture, but how actually Bollywood, even the Indian serials, many things we are observing. I think we can present more Indian valuable cultures to the global community. What Abhishek also want to say, and Arundhati also want to say. What's your observations or how you want to add? Yes.
See, firstly, I would like to tell you thank you for letting us know that MPH thing, which I was not aware of. So that was a very much very important point. And talking about this question, see, all the concept lies in the mind. Whoever has asked this question, it's a very pertinent question and it's a very beautiful one. Every concept of cleanliness and dirtiness lies in the mind. I do not believe that the upbringing or the dressing sense or the communication every matters regard this mindset section. Everything is in our mind. How much do we think? What kind of things do we see? Yes. As Abhishek mentioned about the Bollywood thing, and as Arundhati mentioned about the Netflix series, the visualization impacts a lot to our mindset. So it is very necessary, very necessary to watch clean, to watch good, and to communicate and to transfer the good from the society. I guess in earlier question Abhishek said that I pick up the things which I like, the good things from the culture, and leave the bad aspect. So I would also like to emphasize on this point that do not go what the others say about the objectification of women, or how the other person sees the women. You have to, you or me, and even the individual have to make the individual mindset. We have to think clean. Until and unless we won't be thinking clean, we won't be putting our mind to a good state, this mindset won't be changed. And yes, from where does this concern, from where does this clean mindset or unclean mindset starts from? This starts from our home. When when a girl is being differentiated in her own home, the mindset, her innocent mind starts getting ruined. So this should not be done. And it is not only about the concern of women or a girl. In fact, the male person, which the point which Arundhati mentioned, the male segment also, they should not be treated privileged or underprivileged. All my saying is that we must see each other or the particular segment as individual. We need to clean, we need to keep our mindset very clean. And yes, especially the parents can play a major role in putting up the mindset and in nurturing the mindset. It is all about the upbringing, it is all about what we sees, as Arundhati also mentioned, that many times kids sees that, and kids feel that this is not this is not being done right with my mother, right? So the parents play a major role. And yes, see, we cannot change the mindset of parents or the society or the family or the relatives, but yes, we can preferably change our mindsets. And as Abhishek Ranjan said, that when he would marry, he won't be taking the dowry. See, the next generation or the upcoming generation in which we are, the things are being changed, the things are being revolved and evolved. The topic is evolution of human culture. So the things are being evolved. We just have to make the things places at the right way. We cannot expect what the others would do, but we can expect from ourselves. We could nurture our grassroots things. We could nourish ourselves. So I guess that starting from me, you, and every one of us, the people who are watching this show, we need to change ourselves before changing or before trying to change anyone else.
Yes, this is very good opinions. Even from today's sessions, we learn many things about the family values, about the cultures, about the cultural diversification, even the lot of technology, how technology works, even science, even different cultural aspect, different research point of views, and different policy related issues, and how actually we can think about our startup community, about the bureaucracy, about the state policy, many interesting things. Even most important thing, we get a guideline about women empowerments. So we have to go for the concluding sessions. So Abhishek, what's your concluding remarks for today's sessions, and what you want to share with the World Talent Economy Forums, and what your observation, Abhishek?
Yes,
Yes.
I think the first and foremost thing which goes in my mind and for which I am always trying, what I always try is to change the mentality, to change the mindset of people, how they think. Like if suppose, like we said that I said that there are Bollywood movies and that affects our mindset, and we never know that. But when we introspect, we came to know, okay, this I saw there, and that's why I did that. And and those kind of Bollywood movies are being made only because we see them. And there are lots of people who see them and we make them stars. So we have to introspect, we have to see what we are doing. I mean, we don't have to, they never said that you have to, it's mandatory to watch. We watched it for our entertainment. So we need to see these things, and that has to be obvious. And I don't know why people don't introspect. And if you see, there are millions and millions of views for uh, for gossips, for something which doesn't relate to your life, which doesn't benefit you, which will not benefit you in long run. But people, there are millions of people who views that. There are people, right? There are also people that who are watching that. So it's the mindset which has to change, and then it has to start with every individual. And when every individual starts making a change in himself or herself, I think that brings that can bring a lot of change in the society. Even one person can bring a lot of change in the society if there is the willpower and hard work in correct direction.
Mhm. Thank you. Arpita, how you want to give the concluding remarks for today's session?
I would like to say that today's session was very much informative, and we discussed a lot of things about the culture, the evolution, and it is one of the very important topics because we are into the transition phase. Cultures are being changed. We are seeing the new things. So it is very much, and yes, one more thing I would like to add up into this. It's very much important, no matter where you are, no matter you are in Europe, no matter you are in London, you matter, or you are in the US, we should not, or we should never leave the integrity and the grassroots of our culture. And I guess we Indians are very much professional and very much inculcative in this, in taking all the integrities and in taking all the ethics. So as an individual, a see, the the ethics should be always there in the individual. We should not leave our ethics. So, and the ethics would always come from the section of culture. So on the whole, we talked and we exchanged different kinds of values. You told us about the Singapore culture, the Malaysian culture. Abhishek shared about the Norwegian thing. So this session was very informative, and I hope that we would be having these kind of informative sessions in future also. And just one more thing, Abhishek, I would like to add one important thing. You said that in that political question, that politicians, if you would be if you would be going into politics, you would be categorizing the contestant on the basis of their education. So let me tell you that there is a new party. You must be following it. There is a new party in Patna. The party is the name of the party is plurals. The party is choosing their representatives on the basis of education. So I think that this is it in the
I know
future.
that.
Yes, in
I
the
have been approached. I
revolution.
have been approached to be a part of it
Yes,
already.
okay. So I think that there means this would be a change in revolution. This would be change in our culture. I hope that this whole concept of this change should make a difference, and I just wish that this makes a difference. That's all.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. What the concluding remarks actually, Arundhati, you want to give to our audience?
Okay. As far as we had a really good discussion, and I came across a really new perspective of how society functions and everything. And thank you so much for giving me so much of insight and perspective into everything. So, what I think that before we wind up, it is very important for people to question everything that they are told. Okay, no matter which part of culture you belong to, whatever your parents tell you, I don't think you should blindly follow everything. You should make sure that whatever is taught to you, told to you, when you have that power and capacity within you, using the tool of education, of course, that you find out why we are doing what we are doing. Okay, that's why it's important to question everything, do some investigation. After the investigation process, you must make sure that how inclusive and how progressive that outlook and ideology is. and once everything comes into place and you think it is right and it should be followed, then you should make sure that you are also being a part of it, and then you must always introspect on everything and then follow it. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, you should be the, of course, like Abhishek said, we should be the change that we are looking for. So sometimes we have to be the change and sometimes we have to go out and change things. So, and it doesn't mean that you always have to take a placard and stand on the road. There are different ways of being a part of the change. Like, we are researchers, we can write about it, we can talk about it like we are talking today. So there are different ways in which you can take up and stand for certain things. But I think we should all always take a stand and help culture develop in certain ways which will help human beings exist in our society, in this whole ecosystem, in a pleasant way and a cordial way. So that's
Yes.
it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is actually a very good discussion. We find a very different opinions and interesting outcome as well. So, World Talent Economy Forum, we have Asia Research and Development Institute. We are taking a lot of uh, corporate research, industrial research, even though some academic activities we do with Al Noor Academy, Sarhadia Barhat from Malaysia. Beside that, we have World Talent Economy Forums. We are trying to engage with most of the talented peoples and the very good professionals and the entrepreneurs and the corporates and the big university like MIT, Stanford, Harvard universities, many more actually, they are joining with us. So hopefully our discussions and other things, it will be helpful for many audience, and we also integrated with millions of the peoples, and we will distribute this content completely free in different countries. We have many partners there joining with us. So hopefully any of your good idea you want to share with us, any of your good plans, any of your good initiative, always World Talent Economy Forums, we under our Asia Research and Development Institutions and Al Noor Academy Sarhadia Barhad, we gonna invite you because you are the brilliant mind, you are the talent peoples, you have a lot of interesting things. So we always believe two brain is better than one brain. So when we do the 100 people's work together, definitely we can create some impact in the society, and by this way we will change our society, we will change our worlds, and definitely first we will change ourselves. Thank you for your very very valuable contribution. It was 1 hour of a session, but as we getting a lot of response from the audience, their questions, I have to respect our audience, and that's why I take more, I think, another 1 hour from you. Thank you for your time and support.
Thank you.
Pleasure is
Thank you
all
so much
ours.
for having us.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Abhishek.
you.
I know that you are in the research work, so maybe when you add this kind of economic activities and other things, it will help you more to overcome from these exhausted situations. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.